that, okay? I was a nerd. I was a massive nerd. All right, do you understand? Anyways, one day, I met this guy, okay? Let's call him Fred. We'll call him Fred. For the sake of this story, we're gonna call him Fred. All right, I met this guy, and I found Fred incredibly attractive. In fact, Fred was my first crush. Fred was cool. Fred had friends. I didn't know what that meant. Fred had freaking lots of people around him. He was hella cool and he was funny. He was hella funny. Brown eyes. Goofy fan page. I remember what Fred looks like to this day. Massive crush on Fred. It was my first time having a crush on anyone. Anyways, he was in my theater class. So it was one of the days where we had to present things in our theater class. There's a stage, okay, that kids go up on when they're presenting for their presentation day. And Fred's up on stage doing his thing with his little group, okay, doing whatever. I think it was like improv or something. I was sitting in the front row watching the stage. God, this is so embarrassing. Thank you for the follow, Super Champ. All right, now Fred is doing his thing. I, in my crush brain, my tiny little baby nerd crush brain, decided it'd be a fantastic time to completely just stare at Fred like he was a meal. Like, I stared at this man like he was the only food for miles. Like, I was in the desert and he was like a little oasis. Okay, there was like just a pond there and it was the only water I'd seen in years. I stared at Fred like he was my last hope. Like, my parents left me and he was the first person I'd seen in weeks. I stared at Fred, okay? Just understand, when I say that I stared, I fucking stared. I think I was tired. I don't know what was wrong with me, brother. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I really did. I was just like, it's Fred. And he was doing his thing for a long time, Goofy fan page. Do you know when you stare at something and you zone out? Do you know when you stare at something so much that you just completely, like, you're like there's a haze that comes over your eyes and you're just suddenly gone in a different dimension. Like, that's how long I fucking stared at poor Fred. And of course, Fred does the normal thing that anyone would do. Okay, if you... I'm sorry. Damn. Fred does the normal thing that anyone would fucking do in the situation, and I don't blame him at all. I don't. I'm still embarrassed by this, but I do not blame Fred for 1 second. Don't get me twisted. Bitch, I would have lost my mind too. Fred notices me staring. And Fred looks down at me. And I don't even notice him looking down at me. I'm so lost in the sauce. I'm so lost in the Fred sauce. He stares at me. And in front of the entire classroom, chat. The entire classroom. Fred goes, "Why are you staring at me?" And everybody started giggling.